Hello, and it's been a long time since I've done a video review, so this episode is going to be on Miss Peregrine and the Home for Peculiar Children. So this movie was based on a book. I haven't read the book, and I am a stoic believer that a movie should stand on its own and shouldn't have to be crutched by its source material, because you can adapt whilst keeping the message in. So this movie actually reminds me, from the title alone, of Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends meets with X-Men sort of thing. And fittingly enough, you'd think, because it's directed by Tim Burton, and you always think weird plus Tim Burton equals good, right? But there's no wonder why it didn't do well in the blockbuster or in the box office. I heard it failed to make its money back, and it's clear why. I don't know why Tim Burton has gone the route of stealing from Mr. Spielberg, because all throughout this movie I was thinking, oh, that looks like something out of Super 8, or oh, you know what, why does this thing, like, cause they're doing the aliens and all that, and I'm like, why does this remind me of War of the Worlds? Because even though I've never watched that movie, I kind of know, like, if something equals to that, because I think I've seen the trailers, but I've never gone round to watching that. But I have watched Super 8, and I've marveled at Super 8 for its, its interesting concept, whilst, Super 8 was also taking its plot from War of the Worlds as well, which is really weird when all three are connected. But yeah, I think what I'm talking about is just the design of the monsters, because the monsters are these big, large people with like tentacle arms, and you'd expect it from Tim Burton, but you know what? I think he's lost his touch. Like with Alice in Wonderland and all that, I think he's really lost his touch, and maybe he's trying to find it back. And you know what, I enjoyed his movie Big Eyes. I thought that was really interesting movie about this artist who got cheated, and she fought to get her art back. But other than that, I think this movie is sorely missing something, and I think it's missing personality. And a lot of people confuse personality with quirks, and I understand that, because this movie has quirks, don't get me wrong. Like Miss Peregrine, she's quirky. The love interest, see, she's so bland, I don't remember her name. Oh, Emma. She's quirky as well. Enoch is just a douche. I don't know why he's a douche, but he's a douche. There's Henry, Millard. Oh man. There's just so many characters in there. And actually, before I was going into this movie, I was saying, you know what, I'm just gonna see like X-Men all over again, and I don't think I would want that. But first frame in, I've totally forgot that I had that argument, because it kind of pulled me in, and I think I got in like 5 minutes late, but I think I kind of like gapped in whatever I've missed, because it's just the generic nerd that's been misunderstood, because he might have special powers, or he's special, and the next movie I'm actually gonna review, which is Starks, had very strong cliches. I don't know why. But this movie, I think, hit some cliche notes, but not all of it, because there were some interesting concepts, like how the hollows that the monsters are called can gain back their form by eating children's eyeballs, and that's really weird. And I thought that would go hand in hand with Tim Burton, but it just didn't. Like, the design of the eyeballs too, like, you could tell it's fake, because it's like it's supposed to be children's eyeball, but you kind of know it's like a prop. And you see like the retina, the optical lens thing, the muscles of the eyeballs, but I could tell it wasn't real. Like, I could tell that it was just a prop. But I think that's just me. Like, I kind of know like when something is not real, especially the monster that was kind of confusing, because like apparently being able to see a monster is a peculiarity, which I'm like, no, it's not really a peculiarity, it's just having a third eye, like, alright, it's pretty peculiar, but like these other kids have superpowers. Like the Emma girl, she can blow wind, which I'm like, she's an airbender. But no, she couldn't airbend. Maybe she could. I don't know. I was expecting somebody to go airbending. No, somebody to reenact the Avatar title sequence. Air, earth, water, fire. But no, there was just one person who could bend the air, or blow air, or whatever she does, and she float. They float. She floats too, which is like, why? If she can control air, can't she control herself from not floating? Is that not something she can't do? I mean, isn't that what her purpose is in that school, to learn how to control? I mean, by God, she's been there for like so many years, and you can't tell me she hasn't learned how to control her powers, because like, alright, she's still kind of a kid, but like internally she's older. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Miss Peregrine should have kept some trainers in there. I don't know, maybe it's in the book. I don't really know, and I don't really care, because in a movie you're supposed to set things up and explain, and I kind of gave up trying to give reasons to things, because I'm like, okay, I know this is supposed to be a fantasy adventure. I'm gonna shut my brain off for a while. But there were some things I was questioning about. I was like, if there are kids who can like do powers and are not necessarily Yimbrins, because they were like, oh, only Yimbrins can control time, but I'm like, a kid can also control time. Maybe he has that peculiarity, like that peculiarity, like it's a superpower, like Kronos, like he could control time. Like, he wasn't a Yimrin, he wasn't a person who could transform to control Percy. No, but I think the parts of the movie that I enjoyed were just the parts where they fought with the hollow ghasts, and that was about it. I think what impressed me the most was the sets, where they filmed everything, because it looks beautiful. My God, like, whoo, I want to go there. Like, it's a place like you really want to go there. And then we come to Asa Butterfield. Oh, Asa, man, I was really like, he's not doing anything. He's just sleeping. I think throughout the whole movie, he's like, even when he was going to meet his grandfather, he's like, oh, grandpa, I still love. Why am I talking in Rick's voice? Grandpa, I miss you. And then the grandpa's like, you don't miss me, boy. Go to her. And then I'm like, because didn't really share chemistry at all. And when the movie calls itself out on it, I'm just like, what? Why did you spoil your own ending? It doesn't make sense. It's like an M. Night Shyamalan film now. You gave away the twist, and I don't need to see the third act of the movie because it's just so useless to me now. I would say definitely rent this movie if you can, just for the sheer amount of beauty and impeccableness to the detail of every single scenery in the scenes, especially when you see the gray side of Wales, and then they go back in time into 1943, and then you see all these bright colors again, and then you see the horse ride, and you see arson. No, and you see all of the gorgeous shots of Wales. I'm not sure whether they filmed it in England and just called it Wales, or they really filmed in Wales. I'm gonna look that up. What else? Oh, Samuel L. Jackson is in this movie. When I saw this movie, I didn't know the cast. I was like, oh, I know that guy. He was in Ender's Game, right? What else do I know him from? Hugo. And that's about it. And then I saw Samuel L. Jackson in this movie, and I was like, oh, it's Samuel L. Jackson. He's gonna bring something to this movie, and he does. He's absolutely hilarious. I don't know why some people are like, oh, I don't really, appreciate him bringing the comedy in. And I'm like, dude, you don't get it. Asa Butterfield is just so boring and bland that we do need Samuel L. Jackson. I especially loved it when he kept calling out Jake, which is Asa Butterfield's character, to stop shooting at him because he almost dropped the M-bomb, because he's like, can you stop shooting your arrows at me because you're still missing me anyway? Oh my god, it's so funny. And then of course when the girl was blowing wind at him, he's like, at one point you're gonna get out of breath, you can't blow forever, and you need to catch your breath, and you need a breath mint. I don't know, something about his performance just reminded me a blend of Jesse Eisenberg in Batman v Superman plus Johnny Depp in his Pirates. And it's weird to see a Tim Burton film without Johnny Depp, because you always associate Tim Burton with Johnny Depp. But it was just nice to see a fresh new pairing from this point on. I hope Tim Burton gives Samuel L. Jackson more work, man. My god. I can't stop laughing now. I just remember his lines so perfectly, because he just gave me something at least to talk about, because I haven't talked about the plot even. The plot is so confusing that you don't even know where to start, because it starts off with Abe, who is Jake's grandfather, who went to a special school for peculiar children, but didn't want to stay because he wants to live his life essentially. And then we move on to a bitter son, which is the father of Jake. I don't remember the father's name. I'm sorry. I don't know the actor's name as well. But he's so shallow. You know, he doesn't even care about his son. Actually, he's just like, oh, you need help. You need Dr. Golden. You know, he doesn't want to talk to his kid. I don't know why. I did not see that twist coming, by the way, that Dr. Golden was Samuel L. Jackson. I'm like, okay, so Samuel L. Jackson can transform now. Can, you know, morph now, essentially. It's an interesting power, Samuel. Always in your mind, Samuel? Who do you want to be? Maybe Johnny Depp? Nah, I don't think so. I really think he wanted to trump the motherfucker. But he was like, no, PG-13, can't say that. Can't say fuck either. You know, you can see it in his eyes, like, Samuel L. Jackson, man. And the story is just him fulfilling his grandfather's wishes, and also he wants closure. I thought the idea of what was it called? A time loop was very interesting, and the way it did that I thought was, wow, what special effects, because that whole scene where she just stops the bomb from going down, and I think that was meant for the 3D audience. Like, the bomb is just right on top of the building and it's gonna crash down, but she stopped time and then she reverses the clock and time goes back, and I thought that was a really good visual and I really liked that. Enoch's power, that is one power I'm like, okay, that is some Tim Burton shit right there, because I was like, you know what this reminds me of? Coraline, because essentially it's a similar thing, but just a little twist on it, because he uses, like, I don't know, is it real organs? I don't know why he keeps real organs if it is. Ugh. But it looks real, and then you know, when he first put it in the dolls, I was like, oh, okay. They're gonna use maybe CGI or something, but no, they actually used stop motion, which I'm like, okay, that's good, it's cute and weird and not at all similar to Toy Story. But yeah, especially at the end, you know, I don't know whether I should spoil it, but here's the spoilers, guys. At the end, I don't know how he gets these, like, skeletons alive when he does, and I'm like, how did he do that? Like, there's nowhere you can put the organ. Maybe he cut the skull and put a brain in there. Maybe then. I'm just like, I don't know. How does he do it? Because you see, like, in the first part, like, how he gets his, like, monster puppets alive by putting the heart in the puppet and then a brain in the crab one, like bigger base one, and then you see them fight, and then I'm like, yes, show us how it works, but then they totally forget it at the end, and I'm just like, you know what, I think it was pushed away because we need to see that stupid romance that I already know is gonna happen, and I'm like, no, I don't want to see that. I don't want to care about it. I totally walked out by then, because I'm like, nah, I don't need to see that because I already know what's gonna happen. I don't hate romances. Again, I have to say that because may seem like a bitter person about these romances, but if it's obvious, you don't need to show it again. You just show the kiss, goodbye, the end. That's it. But they prolonged it. I don't know why. Maybe they were like, ooh, sequel. But I don't think so, you know. What else? There's nothing much, man. Just, I guess the only like controversial part I would say is like the eating of eyeballs, because here in Malaysia, you know, things tend to get censored even though the rating says like 18 or like PG-13, and it's really weird. So technically I'm living in like a socialist communist country, but I was shocked they let this in, because I heard a few people behind me go you know, but I'm just like, dude, it's fake. You know. But yeah, there were literally some people who went oh dear, he ate some eyeballs, and I'm like, dude, it's a monster. And yes, he would have eaten the whole body if he needed to, you know. And I think it's just interesting, more interesting story of like why, when like they used the Imbrin, like stole the powers of the Imbrin, like they kind of like lost themselves and became these monsters. I think that was kind of like more interesting storyline for me, because I'm like, oh, okay, this is seemingly well, because I'm like, there is like a small mini story of like a beginning, a middle, and an end, because it's like beginning with Mr. Barron, which is Samuel L. Jackson's character. He wanted immortality, which is really something to be said, because it's like, okay, applause for you, because it's a humanity thing, you know, and we always search for the fountain of youth. And then, you know, he convinces people to join him, which is not, I don't think it's a very hard job to do, considering he's Samuel L. Jackson. And then he becomes what I call the Doc Brown syndrome, because his hair just goes crazy and it's white, and then his eyes turn white, which I'm like, oh damn, that is good visual, because we saw in the beginning like he had white eyes as well, but we didn't know why until that scene, and I'm like, well done, Tim Burton, well done. Almost plagiarizing Harry Potter there, because, you know, it's a cage and then, you know, there's electricity and whatever, but I'm like, whatever, I don't care. More of this, but no, we have to go back to the bland Asa Butterfield, who I really feel was just there for a vacation. Like, he's just like, oh, Asa, we need you to act like this kid, and then he's like, oh, can I travel the world too? And they're like, yeah, why not? And he's like, okay. Even like I don't know, like even when he's like talking to the Emma girl, which he's supposed to like, he doesn't care. There's no caring to him. He doesn't care when, you know, he wants to go back. You know, he has a little bit of an emotion when he wants to go back, but not much of it, because you don't really see it. And by the way, not subtle, I knew that the other bird watcher guy was Samuel L. Jackson, because I'm like, that is a suspicious look on that guy's face. I bet he's up to something, and he was, and I was like, okay, I applauded myself for that. Yeah, nothing much else to say, but Peregrines have superpowers apparently, and that I hope Asa Butterfield gets a better I hope Asa Butterfield gets better work, man, because whew, he just brings nothing to the plate. Like, he doesn't bring any emotion. You know, he couldn't bring himself to bring some hilarity even. Okay, the two twins I forgot to mention here as well. The two twins powers really got to me. I'm like, okay, they have the Medusa power, where you know, if you look in their eyes you'll turn into stone, which I'm like, okay, this is interesting. But Asa Butterfield, man, I hope you're not going the Michael Cera route. It really looks like he's going the Michael Cera route, which I'm like, dude, even Michael Cera doesn't make movies anymore, man. Come on. Asa Butterfield, man. I was expecting more from you because of Ender's Game, and well, I don't really remember you much from here, but maybe that was the start from it. Well, that's all, and see you next time. Bye.